Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rockstar Connect's 3 Martini Lunch. My name is Jay Izso, and I got caught by surprise, but it's never a surprise when you're with some of the nation's greatest thinking minds, the greatest business people around the country. Well, here we are all together again, ready to talk about whatever is on the mind of the talented one, the one who leads us, who directs us, who guides us, who serves the libations one at a time so that you can drink from that effervescent, beautiful, lovely nectar from the gods. You know her well. Her name is Sarah Elliot. Take it away, Sarah.
Thank you, Jay. You have the best introductions. That is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we've had it's been 2 weeks since we've gotten together. We've had some construction in my house last week. I now have additional cast iron that I did not have before. So yay, but it was just going to be really loud and not conducive to webinaring. Or live streaming. So today, and I had a question 2 weeks ago that I was going to ask last week, but then I found a better question for this week. So, because it relates more to business. So my question for this week is, what is something about your industry that people outside your industry don't know but should? Like there's not trade secrets necessarily, like don't go spilling the beans, but what should we all know that like we just don't know? Like people should all know this and we just don't know. I want to know what we should know that we don't know. So there's so many things, Jenny says. Okay, Jenny, start us off with a few.
Yeah, I could.
But wait, first tell us what you do.
Oh, yeah.
And tell us
why I'm saying what I'm saying. So many things. Yes, I'm a content marketing strategist and brand and marketing photographer based out of the Raleigh area. And so the main thing, and we see this happen all the time, right, is that, somebody gets a fancy camera as a gift, and then they think that makes them a photographer that can run a business. Photography is a business. Like if you're going to make it a business, it's a business. And you have to treat it as such. The actual time that I spend photographing people is not all that much. Like the actual time that I spend sitting in front of a computer, creating marketing collateral, editing photos, taking client calls, creating workflows, reviewing contracts, talking, networking, doing all the things. Like photography is this teeny piece of it that's fun, but it's not by any means, the thing that I do the most. And the problem is that with such accessible technology, with everybody literally having something they can walk around, and it's a good camera, like this isn't bad. It takes good pictures. Is the value of professional photography is kind of minimized. And so because it is so accessible, and a lot of creatives undervalue themselves because it's art and it's something that we create. And if we're not in the right business mindset, we don't think about what it means to truly price something in a profitable and business-like way. Yes, is it super easy to be like, sure, just pay me $50, I'll give you all the pictures. Super. And then you get to the point where that $50, is it worth the 6 hours that you spent taking away time from whatever it was that you could have been doing otherwise, and the commuting, and never mind that you cannot run a profitable business on $50 for every session. The shoot and burn and the burn and turn are not profitable.
Right.
And it burns people out. And so one of the things that a lot of people don't know, but they should, is that, photographers, not only are we creative, but we are in it for business. Like I'm not in this just to create pretty pictures, right? Like, I'm in this because I found it an effective way and an enjoyable way for me to earn a living. And this is my living. And I'm not going to apologize for charging the prices that I do. I'm not going to undercut anybody else in the industry just because I can. And I am going to make sure that my work is always matching up with what I'm charging.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that I had no idea. Well, maybe I had an inkling that there was that much involved in it, but that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, that is like, I think what you've just described is like 2 full-time jobs.
I mean, really, like, I mean, but think about it. Any business that you're running, right? There's the things that you do, and then there's the things that you need to do, right? So
Right.
that it can be a business, so that you can, so you can get out there and network, so you can create something meaningful, and whether it's relationships or content, or you're selling something, or you're building something, whatever it is, like, there's the things that you enjoy doing, and then there's the things that you have to do as a business owner. And like, that's the part that I see most tripping people up. And the other thing that I really wish people understood within the creative industries is there's a difference between using something and printing something and putting it up on your wall versus using it commercially to grow your business and make you money. Right? So
Right.
like, licensing is a thing. You go get your family portrait taken, they're going to give you a personal use license so that you can go or print rights, right? Like, you can go print it out yourself, you can get it printed by the photographer, whatever it is. However, it is only to use on your wall or put in an album or put in a frame, whatever.
Right.
A commercial use license is specifically for anyone who wants to use these photos in their business somewhere, website, social media, business cards. As soon as you take that photo and turn it into something that you're using to make money, it becomes commercial. And a lot of photographers get this wrong, and it drives me bananas. Like, if somebody asks you during your family photo session, hey, while we're here, I got my hair and makeup done, can we do a quick headshot? I really wish the response would be, yep, I'm going to have to invoice you separately for that, because headshots are kind of a different avenue, and we have to they're priced accordingly, because you're not going to come back to me in 6 months for a new headshot, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, I wish
Well,
you would,
most
but you
won't.
like, I mean, people come back to me every 6 months for headshots, but that's because that's what I do. Like, I'm a headshot
Right.
and I kind of ingrain it in people that, like, you have to update your image. But, so many times I see these family and portrait and wedding photographers asking the question, like, I don't know how to price this. I quoted them this, and we're all sitting all of us commercial and brand photographers are going, oh my God, like, you're leaving so much money on the table, because they don't understand licensing. And other businesses and sales professionals, please respect that. Like, you're using these images to make money, so you should pay for that.
Right.
Like, right?
So do you ever work out a deal where, like, hey, I'm going to take your photo now, and then you're going to pay me royalties as you are able to going forward? So, like, maybe I can't afford the full license now, not me, but like maybe somebody can't afford the full license now. And then, so like 6 months where you have made money using this photo, I'm going to expect another installment in payment.
I mean, that's a really risky way to do it. I think if somebody had a proof of concept and that they were, they had investors, there was something that would lead me to say yes. And then in 6 months, I will take an ACH transfer out of your bank account, like an automatic payment on your credit card.
Right.
But that's also a really good way to just not get paid. I mean, I don't do retainer. I mean, this is me. This is my business practice. I don't do retainers. I don't do deposits. You just pay me. And you
Right.
pay me in full, and I thank you very much, and I will see you when I see you.
That's probably the best way to do it, really.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I try to keep things as simple as possible. Like, this is the cost for 10 photos. This is the cost for 30 photos. This is how you pay me. I take it anyway, Pony Express included. And I'll see you on the date our session is scheduled.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenny. That is really amazing information about the photography and also what I was going to say. I'm trying to come up with the word that you used. Branding. Well,
yeah.
Better, but there's you have a better word than branding.
Well, I mean, I just say a lot of things, Sarah.
I know.
But it the commercially used things. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So my question for the day is, what is something about your industry that people don't know but should? So not a industry secret necessarily, but something we should all know about you and your industry. Clint, nodding your head over there. You look like you've got an answer for me.
Of course, I have an answer. First of all, hello,
Yay.
everybody. It's nice to see you guys. It's Katia. I haven't seen you in forever. So,
You're very much
yes.
over there at the beach.
Yes, for sure. And Sarah, like the blonde.
Thank you.
It makes your eyes look see-through, by the way. At least here. All right. So I'm going to be very specific for mine. This is a Solido. So I'm the head of business development for Solido. And so we are a local fiber provider in Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that I get most often is, whose fiber do you use? So they're wondering, who are we reselling? Spectrum or Segra or AT&T or CenturyLink or Lumen? We don't. It's ours. And our owner has taken out millions and millions of dollars in loans since 1999, and we have 101 miles of our own fiber in the ground. So we do not take off anybody else's. It is straight Solido fiber. And so we do carrier connections and stuff like that. So we work with AT&T and Spectrum and all that. But the most common question I get when I'm talking to prospective clients is, whose fiber do you use? And so my answer is very short. It's ours. And so I just wanted to make sure that I was very specific about that. So, yeah.
So when you have a new client coming on, do they come out and like bury new fiber for that person?
So we have 192 buildings in Raleigh that we are in. And if we are like, we call them near net buildings. So if we have fiber that goes right by them, but we've never built fiber into the building, then we will build fiber into the building with no cost to the client. Yeah. Now, I mean, there are things that would, if they go upwards of $20,000, $30,000 builds, then there may be some kind of different, or maybe just a longer agreement. But I mean, we can always bring fiber into the building, because that's what our guys do. We have a fiber mapper here that's in the next office next to me, and all of our people are in-house. Everything is local. We are not an 800 number. We are a 919 number, and we use all of our own stuff.
So is it both commercial and residential, Clint, or is it just
commercial? Just commercial. Yeah, residential is a different beast, Sarah. I did residential for Spectrum for 7 years and business for the last 6 or so, and it's a different animal. I like dealing with businesses. I don't necessarily like dealing with folks. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Yeah. So people are a whole lot different when they're talking about their business than when they're talking about their house.
Yeah.
So a whole lot different. They're two different people in the same person. Yeah. So.
And there's a certain amount of people who don't own, I mean, certainly the majority don't own businesses and are not in that industry to make those decisions. So you only have a certain kind of personality that you're actually speaking to when you're dealing with businesses, rather than when you're dealing with individuals, or
it's also
of the personalities.
It's also the 9 to 5 thing or 8 to 5 thing, instead of the 24 hours a day. Somebody's up on their laptop at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to binge some Netflix because they can't sleep, and then their internet stops working and they want to call in. We don't have anybody here at 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's
good.
Not gonna happen.
It's better. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, Clint. So if you have a business in the Raleigh area and a brick and mortar and you need fiber internet, call Clint. How can we get a hold of you, Clint? And I should have said, if you need photography or brand awareness for your business, you should call Jenny.
So I'm putting my stuff in the chat. Or you can always just look up Solido.net, and all of those sales inquiries and stuff go directly to me.
Gotcha. And
Yeah,
Celito is CELITO, because I was thinking
CELITO.
I was thinking when you had first said it, SALITO.
Nope, CELITO. So there's an interesting story behind all that. I don't have time to go into it now, but maybe one day. Maybe one day over some Blantons or something, Sarah, at your house.
Heck yeah. Come on over.
No doubt.
Awesome. Thank you, Clint. All right. So, Mr. Share, tell us what you do, and then tell us what is something about your industry that people don't know but should.
Okie dokie. So, Mark Scher, Safe Harbor Financial Group. We show people alternatives on how money really works. And our goal is twofold. One, to help small businesses self-finance, individuals how to get out of debt, typically in 9 years or less, including their mortgage and student loans and other consumer credit, without spending any more than they're currently spending. Okay? So here's something that very few people know. And when they look it up, because they don't like to believe what we tell them because it hurts their brain too much, they go, can't believe you're right. So our big issue is people are constantly getting that information. Why is that? Well, let's look. I'm looking now, it's a couple of years old. I haven't researched it lately. To be honest, I've been busy doing so many other things, but I will get to this in the next month or so and get the updated numbers. But trust me, they didn't change much. This is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics from U.S. Department of Health. 79.6% of all investment advisors and certified financial planners have never been to or graduated college. 64.8% of financial planners do not own a home. 87% of their clients make more money than their financial planners do. Let's pick on CPAs. Certified public accountants. Average salary for a certified public accountant is about $62,410. Okay. And the highest paying skills associated with them are tax consulting, financial analysis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, my big question to people is your CPA, very few of them have made $1 million in a year. Most financial planners, CFPs, I like to, and sometimes you can call them stockbrokers, they've never made $1 million a year. You'd like to make $1 million a year. Why are you listening to somebody that hasn't done it before?
Ooh, right.
And so when we show people things, now that their mind is set right, and we start explaining to them why what they're doing is making it 20 times harder for them to get ahead, they just go, wow. And I can't tell you how many times I've sat with a CPA that's been in business for 30 years, 40 years, that says, oh my God, I've been telling my client the wrong thing for as long as they've been in business. So that's what most people don't know about what we do. And it's always fun. And it's very important that you have to have facts, because when you say things that are controversial, people are ready to jump down your throat. And unless you have the facts to back it up, it doesn't look good for you. So there's a few things that people don't know about the financial world.
Awesome. So if they want to learn more about these secrets you've divulged to us, how can they reach out to you?
Well, they can easily ring our office at 866-859-PLAN, 866-859-PLAN.
Awesome.
And I'll also drop all of our contact information in the chat.
Awesome. Can they ask for you, or do they just say, I need help, and Mark Scher was talking about something on the thing and I got to know more?
They can ask for me directly. And if they don't get me, they'll talk to somebody that knows for sure.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, Mr. Bricker, what is something about your industry? First, tell us what you do. And then what is something about your industry that people don't know but should?
Thanks, Sarah. And once again, yeah, looking awesome as a blonde. So congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, you must pick that up from Katia.
Yeah, she looks better as a blonde. Her blonde is so gorgeous.
So it's really interesting in my industry because I invented what I do. I created the digital branding toolbox. So you ask people a question on this call, what's the best way to people to get in touch with you? And now you got to decide, am I going to use my phone? Am I going to use my number, my email address? So what I do is I just put everything in one spot. So that way the person can decide whatever way they want to connect with me is easiest. And I use the straight up text message, text Adam to 855-476-4845. Use that. You have all the ways to communicate with me. And I prepare that for other people because in this day and age, some people love email and some people don't. Some people love texting and other people don't. Some people love Facebook. Some people love LinkedIn. So I put it all in one spot to make it easy. And that's what I do and what almost everybody should know. You guys should know this. Everybody should know this. You have a smartphone. All of your prospects have a smartphone. Let that register in. I mean, 10 years ago, maybe not. 20 years ago, nobody had one. Now, every single person has a smartphone that they look at every single day. So if you knew that, you would want to put your brand in the hand of your ideal clients. And that's what I do. I love what Jenny was saying a little bit earlier, really the truth between commercial and personal use. For me, everything I do is personal, but in my industry, all my competition is do it yourself. Do it yourself. We wipe that out. Not a single person who bought my digital branding toolbox, not a single one created a design, a layout, a flow, a customer journey that I was proud to put our name on. So we wiped that out totally. So everything we do is professionally built for you. My competition, they're $60 a year. $60. And it doesn't have texting. I charge $1,000 and it has the whole texting system. Why? Because I guarantee you're going to make more than $1,000 back. Matter of fact, one of my plans has a $40,000 revenue guarantee attached to it. Okay? You can't do that with do it yourself.
Right.
So the two things that people should really know about my industry is one, do it yourself. You get the results that that you deserve. Hire professionally, like Jenny was saying before. You have the professional on your side, and the other one is 100% saturation. 100% saturation with people having smartphones. As a matter of fact, here, let's do a quick inventory. Raise your hand. Do you have a smartphone? There you go. Everybody but Domenic has a smartphone.
Domenic doesn't.
There you
He's
go.
walking around with a flip phone and a.
Dominic's looking at his smartphone, so he wasn't listening to you.
And then we'll all get together and get have some King James over at Sarah's house.
Down. I'm totally down. We're gonna have to, once we all if we can all get together, I will open that bottle.
Deal. I'm going to rent an RV and swing by and pick everybody up.
This is all on you, Adam.
All right.
We're all counting on you. Okay.
You got it. It'll be a nice short drive.
Yeah. Short drive. So quick side note question, Adam, are you still in Canada?
I am. I'm in Canada right now.
Gotcha.
And it is spring break, which
Ooh.
means absolutely nothing has changed.
The girls aren't running around in their cutoffs.
They're running around with their sled. Yes.
With their sleds.
It's spring break. They're not in school. They're going down the hill at 30 miles an hour and having a blast.
Fun.
We just talked to somebody in Ontario and they said they get 2 weeks for March break. Right? In Canada, they get 2 weeks.
I guess I'll find that out next week.
But
they're off this week.
So in Ontario, we were like 2 weeks. Are you kidding? You get 2 weeks for a break? Like, we do it all wrong here.
Yeah, yeah, and I know the way that Europeans go on vacation. I really dig that.
Although I think the year-round schools have a nice
Yes, we do.
pattern to them where it's like 4 weeks on, 3 weeks off, or however
Or
it
9
would.
weeks on and 3 weeks off.
9
That
weeks
works
on,
too.
3 weeks off. Yeah.
You know, I
No,
saw,
it is. It's fantastic. For the traditionals to be in the whole year with only 2 weeks total between the breaks, like that's bananas. But
Right.
yeah, that's why we do year.
I solved that issue so long ago. When I was young, I had, I was in a financial situation where I was trying to make ends meet. And now I've successfully made my weekends meet. So I don't care what day it is. It doesn't really matter. I work and I take off every day to be with the kids. So there's family time every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Thanks, Sarah.
2 week spring, 4-day work weeks and 2 week spring breaks. Yes. Is that all of Canada? Is 4-day work weeks too? Oh, Clint's just like wishful thinking over here. Like,
You know what? I've been on lockdown since I've been here. They're just opening things up. I don't really even know what a work week is like up here.
Well, Sarah, around here, this time of year is a whatever you want to work week because of the NCAA tournament. So it's like most people just take off.
That's basketball, right? I don't know. I don't watch sports, so yay, sports, go team. I don't know.
You just caused Clint emotional damage.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'll watch it, but not for the same reason you guys are watching it, probably. It's because the only people who are as tall as basketball players that I've met in real life are Jay. That's it.
Facts.
So I'll watch that, but I don't know what's going on. Awesome. So Adam, if somebody were to employ your services, how would they reach out to you? That 855-476-4, I can't see it because we're all tiled together.
So it's text one word. The word is Adam, and the number is 855-476-4845. And if I need to make it bigger for you, I can do that.
There you go. Yay. 476-4845. Text it. Text Adam, ATOM, to 855-476-4845. Awesome. And then do you respond like, hey, let's get you a program, or you have a staff?
Yeah, it all depends on where I'm at or what day it is.
Sweet.
Yeah. But if you need to reach me directly, especially anybody on this, you want to connect with me directly, I'll put my personal information in the chat below.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Ms. Laura Templeton, same question. What is something about your industry, and tell us what industry you're in again, that people don't know about but should?
This is one of those challenging questions because there's so many different things you can talk about, right? So a couple of things that popped into my mind when I was thinking about this, because as a professional speaker, as an author of a book, and as a communications coach, you kind of wear different hats. So a couple of different things that popped into my mind when I was thinking about this. And for those of you who don't know me, my company's 30 Second Success. I've written a book called 30 Second Success, Ditch the Pitch and Start Connecting. The work that I do is really focused around that 30-second message for networking and video, and helping people figure out what that intentional message that connects with their heart, that allows them to step into their confidence, into their brilliance, and communicate who they are effectively when in front of an audience that could potentially be their ideal clients or the people that know them. So it's mainly for networking and video. So one of the things that I was thinking when it comes to professional speaking, a lot of people don't realize the amount of work that goes into preparing for a speech, especially virtually, because there's challenges of the internet and things like that. So, but even preparing a speech and understanding who your audience is, there's a lot of work that goes into it, especially someone who is committed to showing up as a professional speaker. You know, a lot of people do public speaking, or they'll go to smaller events and do pro bono work. But a lot of professional speakers, especially when the pandemic hit, were being approached to speak for free. And I had a conversation with somebody one time. I said, you know what, if I continue to say yes to speaking for free, at some point in time, I'm going to go out of business, because I have business expenses that I need to cover and people that I need to pay that work for me. And at some point in time, if I don't get paid for my services, I'm not going to be able to service and serve the community that I'm meant to serve. Right. So my business may go out, I may go out of business. A lot of people just assume that speakers speak for free. They don't realize that there's a monetary value to what you deliver. And I love what Jenny was saying about the value that we place on the work that we do. We are creative souls, and we do put a lot of work into it. We're artists at the heart of what we do, because we bring a message that is meant to help people improve their position in life, right? And so there's that piece of it. The other piece that I was thinking about is, obviously the preparation, the amount of hours that go into it. But from the coaching perspective, you run into the same thing. A lot of people love to try and pick your brain, and I hate that terminology. It's just like the vision of it freaks me out. But we use it because people understand what it means. And it's kind of like, I look at it this way: people love to steal your brilliance. And there's a lot of blessing that I can give to people when I have deeper conversations with them. But at the end of the day, if I were to, again, educate people on exactly how to do their message, or, some people will, it's funny because when I'm doing podcasts, a lot of times the podcasters will try and get me to spell out my whole entire formula, or give them oh, how do you break down the formula, and what do you follow? And it's, at the end of the day, if you're giving it all away, then a lot of times people don't even want to do it for themselves. They want you to do it for them. Right. So there's those pieces in there that you kind of you put your heart and soul into your work, right? And I want people to get so much out of the work that we do together. We go deeper into their businesses a lot of times just really defining the work that they do and helping them communicate it well is a big piece of it. So being able to do that, a lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes, right? Even Jenny was saying, a lot of times when you're working on headshots and things like that, and all the editing that you do and the work that you do, that kind of makes that image so inviting to people to want to explore more work with you, even in the different things that you do graphically when you're using it in a commercial use. So there's a lot of the work that's behind the scenes that people just don't seem to understand. And it takes a deeper conversation. And that's the one thing that I love to educate people on is build those relationships, have a deeper conversation, ask a lot of questions, but don't expect people to give away all their trade secrets, right? It's important to respect what they bring to the table.
Yeah, I don't want you to give away all your whole trade secret. Don't give away the farm. I'm thank you for answering, Laura. So if somebody were to utilize your 30 seconds to success, how would they get in touch with you? And where do you start from?
Yeah, so for me, it's, the easiest way to get in touch with me is on my website, 30secondsuccess.com. I'll put that in the chat.
Okay.
And, the best way I love inviting people to have a chat with me. So you can actually schedule a call with me on my website, and I'll put my email in here as well.
I love that. It starts with a conversation. That is awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, you're really good at doing commercials for everybody. So I'm we need to hire you, Sarah, to do some commercials that we can just put out there, and on how to connect with us.
I would be happy to have that conversation. I've been encouraged recently, actually, after doing these, that I really would, maybe my next venture, after I have all my things nailed down that I'm working on now, which is going to be a couple months because I've got some things that I'm still working on finishing out. licensures and things like that. But I really would love to try my hand at public speaking. Maybe not speech writing, but public speaking.
Maybe we need to have a conversation about that.
Yeah. I've been told that as a youth, I was told that I was fairly natural at it, but I've never sort of actually done it. But I have an English degree and I pay very close attention to the way that I talk and don't include ums and likes and ahs and all that, because it drives me crazy when people do it. So.
Yeah, and you have a beautiful voice. Your voice is it's very soothing. So I think, that's what made me think, as maybe even like doing like radio spots or commercial spots might be in your future. You never know.
That might be.
I
Now I
definitely
have to go back
do
and
a master class for me. I'm waiting on that faster class.
yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh.
And I'm over here looking at Katia just smiling, because you want to talk about the coach of all coaches when it comes to public speaking.
Yes. So Katia. So that is a better intro, Don. That was a fabulous intro to Katia. Katia, tell us what you do and okay, so tell us what you do and what is something about your industry that people don't know but should.
So I help business owners to make more money, to grow their business, and to be seen, right? So I'm a business coach, and there's a couple of people that I was thinking, like some of the stuff, and we have a misconception about, and I'll totally piggyback on what Laura said earlier, but do you know that 82% of coaches make $0 to $32,000? Most coaches are actually freaking broke. And like broke. They really, in this industry, it's really a misconception. Only a few percent make it to six-figure and multiple six-figure. And you don't have many who do it as a couple, like me and my husband. So I'm very, very excited to be into this few percent. The one thing then you probably don't know, it's when you publish a book, especially in the coaching industry, they don't make you any money at all. Zero. It is a misconception to think then, oh my gosh, I'm going to publish a book and I'm going to be like whatever label they use. And when it's like bestseller of wherever, unless it's from the New York Times, it really doesn't mean anything. I want to piggyback on what Laura said. So there are different type of speakers, right? For me, I help my client to be seen, right? When they be seen as an expert, that's what's most important. And I help them to create their speech with a very specific anatomy. For me, I don't want my client to be paid. I want them to go speak for free. And I speak only for free. I do not want to be paid. Am I a keynote speaker? Yes. Have I been paid quite a bit of money? Yes. I always make more when I speak for free because I train my client to sell from the stage. When you're able to sell from the stage, you make so much more money than as a keynote. Then now I really ask myself, do I really want to be paid, or do I want to make a deal with the event planner and let me make an offer from the stage, because I convert very, very well from the stage. So that's that. And there is a misconception about what coaching is. In coaching, we are salespeople as much as we are coaches. And I think a lot of people go into the coaching industry just think they're going to go and they're going to coach. We're salesmen, we're servants. And when we know what we get into, if people knew all of that, I think there will be less people who go into the industry just thinking like, I don't understand, I don't make it, oh, look at this is adorable. And you do not need a certification to be a coach. Most people think you do. You actually don't. And a lot of the very, very successful coaches do not have certification. And last but not least, it takes a lot of energy to coach. It's really, there's an energy share one of the things was super important, and I do before I came here on this call or before I coach my client, I ground. It takes me about 10 minutes to ground. And after a coaching call with a client, I clear, because I ground because I don't want my regular life to come into my coaching. So whatever happened, whether it was with my kids, my husband, or, my banker or whatever, we totally get to just clear, ground ourselves. And afterward, we get to shake it off, because it's so easy to take on the energy of our client. So that's what I have.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I have a question now. So when you say grounding, do you mean physically going outside without your shoes on and standing on the dirt grounding?
I actually do.
Mentally grounding?
I actually do, but it's really mental. But I do, like, for me, it's a whole thing. I have double doors outside. I go outside, I ground, I breathe, I just let go. I do a couple of affirmation. And for me, I'm committed to creating a world of love, unity, connection, faith, trust, and abundance. And I say those things. And I have a couple of mantras. That way I'm really ready to serve and to forget whatever happened. I'm in the present moment.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. So a little side note there. Have you seen that movie named Grounding? Have you seen that?
No.
So there's this, I think it's on Netflix, maybe,
Okay.
but it's certainly on, it's on one of the streaming platforms. And I think it's called Grounding, and it's about your electrical current throughout the day and the amazing potential of going outside and connecting with the earth without your shoes on and getting rid of all of the static electricity that you build up moving around your house and all these synthetic fibers and all of that. And it's really, it makes sense to me, especially in the wintertime when you're walking around and getting shocked by every time you touch a doorknob or the dog or anything like that.
That sounds great. I'm going to look
amazing.
that up.
And we are like electromagnetic beings. So it
Thank you.
Makes sense. So onwards. Thank you, Katia. Okay. So how would we reach out to you to become one of your clients?
The best way is really go on our website, contact me, or on all social media under my name, Katia Ravi, and just get in touch, send an email, and we'll set you up with one of our coaches, and they'll talk with you and they'll let you know what we do. And if you want to talk to me personally, just tell them you want to talk to me and you'll get there.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad to see you. It's been so long. We need to physically get together because you're a joy to keep company with. So
thank you.
Well, Katia lives at the beach, so
maybe you guys come to the beach.
Sounds like I need to go get some sun out on the beach.
maybe
Yes,
it's an easier sell to Adam, and
listen,
you can just bring the whiskey with you, Sarah.
No, I have the best solution. I'm having an event in October, a 3-day event. For anybody, so you guys all come and you guys can stay at my house.
Yay! Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Info.
Yes.
LinkedIn, wherever you want to put it, I'll find it.
Yay! Awesome. So Joey, you're doing a happy dance over there, celebrating the beach and all of these wonderful people who are sharing their best kept secrets of their industries.
Yes.
Tell us, since you are also in the coaching industry, although a different kind of coach than our previously mentioned coaches, what do you do, first of all? And then tell us what is something people should know about your industry that they don't.
Sure. So I'm a holistic confidence coach, and I help people fall in love with themselves. I help them find their sexy self-esteem that's down within them, that they already have, that they have lost or forgotten, and help them with their mindset, how they talk to themselves, treating themselves. Do they have balance in lives? And just get more aligned. So it's kind of a new one I've shifted with as well. So That's me. And so one thing in my industry, in many people's industry, that people should know that they don't, it's very simple. Thoughts turn into emotions. Your perception is your projection. How you perceive the world is how your world will be. Easier said than done, but that's pretty much it for me.
So you have, I imagine then you have a prescriptive approach to eliminating those negative thoughts. And you don't have to tell us that prescriptive approach, but I would imagine you have a way to get around that.
Well, I wouldn't say eliminating, because eliminating is denying something that's of yourself. I think of it in terms of meditation purposes.
Okay.
And the concept of two analogies I'll use, some of you have heard it before. When you're sitting on the side of a road, imagine the thoughts of the cars passing by, type of thing. You can watch them as they go by, holding on to the thought or the car as it passes by. Or you can just let it go past your eyes, just letting it pass through you. So it's not a matter of eliminating, it's just a matter of letting it be and accepting it for what it is. So this is also a matter of self-acceptance, because when you realize that your thoughts aren't you, which is one other concept entirely, then you realize you can step back and realize that I'm not a body, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my emotions. And then you question, like, what is the I, which is a whole, philosophical conversation we can get into entirely though. But, it does lead that direction, but realizing that it's not necessarily that you can control your thoughts, but they aren't you, but what you focus on thinking of does turn into your emotion, that does turn into reality. So realizing that, you can step back and realize, like, oh, I'm just thinking this. How interesting that is. Let it pass through. Easier said than done.
Sounds like it.
But it is true. And that gives people their power back. Noticing that I wouldn't use the word necessarily control, but that does come to mind. But you can take power of your life. You can shift it wherever you want it to go.
Awesome. So if somebody did want to take control of their life and have that conversation with you, how would they reach out to you?
Sure. I have this new little digital business card thing that I'll share.
Yay.
Yeah. So it has all my information. You can find my Facebook, Instagram, I have a Calendly event with me. And I have my podcast link on there. I started a podcast with my business coach, so that's on there.
Fabulous.
Yes. And this thing it's pretty cool. It's like a QR code. It's on your phone. So I like it.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Have you had a conversation with Adam about what he does? Because
yes,
it seems like, okay, good.
Cool.
It seems like you should have that conversation if you haven't already.
I know. Hey, Adam is super awesome. I love chatting with him, and we had a great chat. One thing I'd recommend to Adam that I recommend to everyone else is there's this great movie. Adam, you said you liked it. Finding Joe.
Finding Joe. Okay.
What a great recommendation. Thanks, Joey. It's all about how to find Joey Natale.
I wish.
Great movie.
Mm-hmm. It's about the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell's concept.
Oh, all right. I've written it down, so now I've got to go watch it. Thank you.
Of course.
All right. Mr. Battistella, tell us what you do, and then tell us what is something about your industry that people don't know but should.
Yeah, my name is Domenic Battistella. I am a partner with the Raleigh firm, New York Life. And I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what Mark spoke about, because Mark talked about what the financial advisors and the CPAs actually make and who do you want to get your advice from. Well, let me expound on that. Is that the average financial advisor wants to tell you one way to make money, because that one way to make money is how they make money. And they make money year after year after year on the fees that they charge you. And when you only have one tool, it's like the old saying, when all you have is a hammer, everything begins to look like a nail. Well, when all you have is one tool to solve financial problems, the answer is always manage assets, manage assets, manage assets. And in the reality, building wealth isn't necessarily about maximizing the amount that you get on a return of dollars that you have being managed. It's about what those dollars actually do for you. Okay, because nobody cares how much money they get on a year by year basis. What they're really looking at is, what is it that they ultimately have at the end, and what do they get to keep? That really matters. And the reality of the situation is, putting money into the markets, as great as that is, and having a little bit in there and continuing to just systematically invest, that's fine. But that's not ultimately what's going to make you the most. It's the ability to use the same dollar 3, 4, and 5 times over and over and over again to generate wealth. That is what really generates wealth. And the reality of the situation is that the greatest wealth creation tool in the US, and really probably in the world, is a well-structured whole life insurance contract. And the reason is because while the money is sitting in there, it's growing, you can utilize it again and again and again to build assets and generate wealth. Whether it's, what Mark talks about, which is getting rid of your debt at 24, 25% APR year after year after year, or taking that money and utilizing it to acquire assets that then generate an income for you year after year after year, and you have the assets and the income it produces, and being able to utilize that money while it's still growing at the same rate that it would be growing if you just left it alone and let it sit there. So you can't, the secret is, you can't utilize your assets that your financial advisor is managing for you, because the minute you sell those, they're no longer working for you. They're either working to buy your asset, or they're working in the market. They can't do both. So the life insurance contract is the only place where it can do both at the same time. And it's the only place where you can put your money where it's not only guaranteed to grow, but it's guaranteed not to lose money. And you have leverage on it, because if you do pass away, it is the greatest tool for intergenerational wealth transfer that's ever been created. So that's the reason why wealthy people, truly wealthy people, we're talking about people worth billions, they buy as much whole life insurance as they can possibly buy on themselves, on their heirs, on everybody that is associated with their company, because they utilize those contracts to continue to generate wealth for themselves, because they don't give a damn about a 10 to 15% rate of return from the market. That does not matter. They get a higher rate of return than they would ever get in 1 year's worth of doing their business. They need a place to put that money where they can use it again and again and again. And that's what I do. That's what Mark does. And that's what most people, they have a cognitive dissonance when they hear information like that from somebody like Mark, from somebody like myself, because they've been told, I just need to get the biggest return year after year after year. And that is not how you generate real wealth. And that's what people don't know about our industry, is that our tool is going to create wealth. And it also is, we're not telling you this because we want to make a commission every single year. We're telling you this because we actually want to help people. Can I get an amen, Mark? 2 thumbs up over there. Look, I don't rant a lot about the structure of what I do very much, because I usually keep that in conversations with my clients. And I really don't. I really talk to my clients about what the work we do can do for them, not about what it is. But the reality of the situation is, people need to be educated about how money actually works.
Right.
And you're not going to get that when you can't let go of the prevailing common wisdom that keeps everybody basically feeding the Wall Street machine. Does that make
Right.
sense?
I'll make
Absolutely.
one quick interjection.
Please.
Please.
Great job. But Americans have been brainwashed by the CPAs, by the financial planning people to maximize your qualified plan, maximize your IRA, your Roth, your SEP, your 401k. If you really crunch the numbers with either myself or Domenic, you're going to realize that that's the silliest thing you could be doing to move and to keep moving forward with. The only person who benefits from that, even if you're getting a match, is Uncle Sam. That's the whole reason that's there, is so the government gets more money at the end.
And that guy sucks. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. Can I say that?
Crazy.
We're going to keep stuff on
When you
Facebook.
crunch the numbers, that's what it breaks down to. But excellent dissertation, Domenic. Loved it.
Appreciate it,
I
Mark.
said it better myself.
Thank you much.
Thank you. Thank you. So if those watching here would like to grow their wealth and get out of their old habits and change their mindset about money, we know how to reach out to Mark. How can we reach out to you, Domenic?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. I put my contact information in the chat there. You can book an appointment with me on Calendly. However you want to do it, you can call my cell phone. It's publicly available. So, you know, I'm always available to have a conversation with folks. But if you want to learn how to do the types of things that Mark and I do, you can also talk to me, because I'm growing our firm here in Raleigh, and I'd love to be able to teach others how to make money, helping other people make money.
Awesome. Awesome. I imagine there's some requirements that you have to have before you're able to get into that industry, but it's not a 4-year university education, right?
It isn't. It isn't. And quite honestly, I would rather have people that have an education from the school of hard knocks and common sense.
Gotcha. Me too. I think that's the greatest educator out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, life experience.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Domenic. This has been a lovely, lovely thing. Now, to bring us home and cap it all off, Jay, please tell us what you do, and then what is something in your industry that people don't know but definitely should.
Yeah, well, thanks, Sarah. Wow, really great responses from everybody. I thought they were just brilliant. I think one of the things, regardless of what you do, we're in this, I hate to say this, but we're in this to be profitable. I don't hate to say it. The fact is, we're supposed to be profitable.
Nobody would work if they didn't make any money.
Right. I mean, we're supposed to be profitable. Isn't that point? And so here we are, we're trying to be profitable. And I don't know why we should be ashamed of that. I don't think we should. So listen, I am a coach, and I always believe, I'm a Laura Templeton fan. I think you need to bring your whatever you do in business in 3 words. So here's my 3 words: positively inspiring growth. That's what I do. I'm a growth coach, and I help people grow. I work with salespeople to C-suite professionals and founders and owners of companies, is what I do. And we work on a whole person approach, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. Because the philosophy I have is there are no business problems, there are just personal problems that infiltrate business. I am also an author. I've written 4 books, and Katia's right. You don't make money writing books. I've written 4 books, and I have to tell you, I lost tens of thousands of dollars on the very first book I wrote. And this is the last book I wrote. It's a hardcover book. It also comes out in paperback, and it's also on Audible. It's also on Kindle.
What's it called?
This is the latest one. It's called Lessons from the Farm: Essential Rules for Success. So I was raised as a farmhand in Nebraska in a town of 119 people. And these are the lessons that I learned on the way to doing what I do and doing it well. And so those lessons have never left me. in the time of 50 years, 50 plus years I've been on this earth. And so I'm grateful for the men who mentored me, the different farmers I worked for, and the different experiences I had. I will give you one thing about coaching. So my master's and doctoral work is in psychology. You don't have to be a psychologist or psychological professional like I am to be a coach. I think it gives me a distinct advantage personally, because most people think that they are psychologists, but they can't even explain the difference between positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, negative punishment. And I'll let you try to think about what those 4 different things are, because they're all 4 very dramatically different things. And it's a very simple process, but most people think that negative reinforcement is punishment, and it's not. It's reinforcement.
Positive punishment is something that I can't quite wrap my head around unless you explain it.
Positive punishment, negative punishment, right?
Yeah.
Punishment by definition means that what we're doing is if we punish a behavior, it means that the probability of that behavior happening in the future is less likely to occur. Positive or negative means we either apply something, or negative means we take something away. So in the case of positive punishment, the simplest way to think of it is spanking. I'm applying spanking as a way of positively punishing you. Negative punishment is if I take away your Nintendo.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I'm removing something.
I was thinking positive, negative the other way, like good versus bad.
Right. It has nothing to do with good versus bad. It has to do whether you're applying something or not applying something. Positive reinforcement is I am giving you something after the behavior in order to increase the behavior so it will be more likely to occur again. Negative reinforcement is I'm removing something so that the behavior will increase in the future. So the best way I can explain negative reinforcement is escape, right? Some form of escape. For instance, that annoying bell on your car when you don't put your seatbelt on is negative reinforcement. Because every time you hear it, you want to quickly move and get it on before it happens, right? It's increasing that behavior, because as soon as you hear the sound of that tone, it increases the behavior of clicking down your seatbelt. It's an example I use in the psychology classes that I've taught in colleges and universities, but it's most people really don't understand what psychology is or how the mind or the brain works. And I taught brain anatomy and function for years. A lot of people don't. They don't understand the applications of that. That's part of my coaching. But I'm also a keynote speaker. And you know what? Thankfully, this pandemic is lightening up. And voila, what happens? You get a paid speaking gig, right? And it's awesome, right? Which is awesome. And I'm going back to my university. They've hired me to do a leadership day, to do speaking to high school students and college students in the area, and that's awesome. What do we know about speaking? I will give you a little something about speaking. There are amazingly talented speakers who have never taken a speech class. They're just naturally gifted speakers. Sorry. There's just some folks who are just naturally gifted at it. And I've never taken a speech class. I've never been to a speech class. I don't even know what one looks like.
I don't either.
and do you want to know something? When I was in high school, I went to state in extemporaneous speech. Never took a speech class. It's just, I think sometimes we're just gifted with certain things. I'm also a podcaster, right? And I have sponsors for it. I will give you a little secret about what most people don't know about podcasting. Audio is the most important feature of your podcast. The better your equipment, the better your podcast is going to be done. By the way, if you don't have great equipment, it's not going to work well. Authoring. You don't make money in books. Matter of fact, if you want to do it right, it's going to cost you money. So be prepared to pay the expense. If you want to do it cheaply and you want it to look cheap and cheesy, if you don't want to go hardcover, and if you don't care if your books go into bookstores, then you know what? You can do it relatively cheaply. But if you want to be excellent, and you want a hardcover book in Barnes and Noble, which still, by the way, sells a ton of books, right? And avid available, it's going to cost you money, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I can just tell you that right now. So those are maybe 4 things in the 4 areas that I do that that maybe you don't know about the industry. And I've put everything in that you can find me. But listen, you can find me best at jizzo.com, and it's IZSO. A lot of people think it's Izzo. I'm not Italian. It's actually Hebrew is the last name. So it's IZSO. And so it's JAYIZSO.com. You can find me all over. And that's, I think that's pretty much it, Sarah. I think we did that pretty quickly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Welcome.
I appreciate all of your time today and your attention to this big question, which, you know, I feel like we should, I mean, not that there are secrets, but we should just all shout from the rooftops, all the things that everybody should know. And like, just, you got to know these things, right? Because if you're going to do business with me, you've got to know, pretty soon off the bat that like, here's the deal. Here's the deal. So now our Facebook audience knows the deal. Tomorrow or later this afternoon, our YouTube audience is going to know the deal with all of us. And we should all have some new connections coming up in the next week or so. So yay, I appreciate you guys. I value your time immensely. And I can't tell you what a joy it is for me to spend this hour with you. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will talk next week. Oh, also, I was reminded about this. I've asked everybody about who you are and what you do. Let me wrap it up by saying I am I'm part of the lead of Rockstar Connect. Rockstar Connect facilitates business networking events across the country. We are based in Raleigh, North Carolina. Our website is rockstarconnect.com. Come check us out. Go to an event, host an event, get a group going. We would love to work with you, especially if you need to get your name out there. So give us a shout. 800-205-2327. All right.
Tomorrow night. Sonesta
Tomorrow night.
Hotel, 6 o'clock.
You got it. We'll be meeting Domenic tomorrow night in our TV. So thank you guys. Have a great afternoon. Have a wonderful week. And we will talk to you soon.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Bye.